Welcome back to Hotel Moment. I'm Jennifer Susky, and today I'm talking with Lydia, who is the Regional Sales Manager with Caesars Entertainment. Thank you for coming on, Lydia.
Thanks for having me.
So first, I got to ask you, we're both up in the Pacific Northwest, and I'm already starting to think gardening. And from what we spoke about last time, it sounds like you've already started.
Yeah.
Is that right?
I actually spent about an hour yesterday evening while the sun was out putting soil into my raised beds, and my back hurt afterwards. So
I'm still in the planning stages. So I am like the definition of amateur gardener, like that would be my face. So if anyone has any tips or tricks on how to be a better gardener, let me know, because last year my tomatoes came out the size of like quarters. So
it's a constant learning process every year.
We're all trying to develop new skills in the pandemic, I think. And I don't know. I'm hoping this is going to be my year. This is going to be my gardening year. It's my green thumb year. Yes. So yeah, that's really. So
we'll check back in on that.
Exactly. And maybe again, we'll start our own gardening podcast after this.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. So you have an amazing story that I am so excited to just jump right into. Coming in and out of hotels, you worked in hotels, you worked with Helms Briscoe, and then you came back again. So let's start at the beginning. I know that you started with IBM, but then you jumped into hotels. So I want to know a little bit about what you did at IBM and how you made that transition.
Yeah. So I got a degree in international studies. So hotels, hospitality was not on my radar other than lots of server experience in restaurants. And so I got an internship with IBM in college and didn't really know what it was, but I knew great to get an internship with them. I will do it. And I was on a small executive team as their intern, and which later turned into kind of a contracted position. And I found myself doing all things, but one big part of it was speech writing, booking events worldwide, and arranging travel for some very high-level executives. So I was kind of thrown into the fire of the meeting planner business and got experience in that without really realizing it until I started looking for a job. And I wasn't finding a job in the industry I thought I was going to go into. And actually a little small boutique hotel in Seattle reached out to me after seeing my resume on Craigslist, where you could like post your resume. Mm-hmm. And I went in for the interview, and she hired me on the spot as director of sales in a little 50 room or 51 room hotel in Queen Anne.
Oh, wow.
Very cute, classic little hotel. So it kind of
wait,
the business.
Your introduction to hotels was like director of sales.
Yes. So
that's intense.
Yeah. Yes. And I didn't have a clue what I was doing. And so honestly, I think one of the best things I did during that time was I went out and met with all the hotel people that I could. We would go, Alex, who you had on your podcast and who I now work with, was one of those people, along with Nora, who works at the WAC now. And I would pick their brains, like, what is this industry? Where can I go with it? Because I just didn't know anything about it. And so it was a great experience. And it was a great way to start.
So that was back in 2007. So like just before the recession.
Yes.
Right. So So first time director of sales right before the recession. Did you, when you first got into hospitality, were you enjoying it? Or were you like, what have I done with my life?
No, I enjoyed it. I think it was a very different world than the big hotels, I work for now or I worked for after. And honestly, it was a lot of community building, which was fun. I worked a lot with the Seattle Center and the theaters. And the recession didn't affect me as much as I think it would have at this job or a different job, because I had such a small hotel. And so I was doing a lot of business travel. I was doing little groups for theater and things like that. But the biggest way I think it affected me was I think, I don't know how far in, but I wanted to move on to a better job, a bigger hotel. And it wasn't going to happen in 2008.
Yeah.
And so I stayed there for 3 years. And then in 2010 is when I started looking again to go somewhere else. Yeah.
Oh, so where did you end up after that one then?
So then I went to the W Seattle, and I did not move into another director role. I went into small meetings and events, which was known as executive meeting manager with Starwood back in the day. And great experience, but definitely thrown into the fire there.
Oh, yes.
At the marketing. I mean, it was busy. It was a different world, but I loved it. Yeah.
So did you, I mean, like you started at IBM and you were basically the decision maker for your then job, you know what I mean? So you're the person who booked meetings and events. Did you lean on any of those contacts back at IBM to like give you some business?
A little bit. A lot of it was East Coast because I was in Chicago at the time. And so East Coast and DC, because I remember trying to do more of that. I think even after I went to Helms Briscoe, but a lot of it was East Coast business. And honestly, when I was at IBM, I was just doing what the executives were telling me to do, right? So they would be like, Paul, I mean, I remember speaking with the wife of the current president of China, or not her, sorry, her executive assistant. And booking a room for her in Egypt for their event. So I didn't at the time understand that I was getting experience. I was just, I mean, it was fast. It was stressful. It was a great, an incredible mentor at that job who's I still speak to today. But yeah, it was different.
For sure it was. But I mean, you do have that experience.
Yeah.
And you know what your client wants being in that role. You know, you were that person booking the meeting. So you got a leg up there. Yeah. All right. So you spent some time in hotels then, and then you transitioned out.
Yes.
So what happened then?
Well, my daughter was born. And so I had my daughter in 2013. And I just wanted to try something else. I wanted to try working from home, and I had worked with Helms Briscoe, and so I was like, what is this? How does this work? So I reached out to Nicole Tangway, is who I spoke with, who's still there now, and met with her and just decided it would be a great fit. And I did that for the next 4 years. So it was a great experience in a lot of ways. And it really, I think one of the things that I took away from it the most is that you learn so much about the hotel industry and all the different brands and hotels and contracting and what the client's looking for and what their frustrations are. I mean, the experience was really, really good and very helpful to me as I went back into hotels as well.
Yeah. I think that's the unique opportunity that you have. A lot of people, especially right now, are transitioning like in and out of hospitality, just with everything that's gone on in the past year. You have managed to transition in and out, but like in the same like area, in the same field, you know what I mean? Like, so transitioning to Helms Briscoe, okay, well, again, that was your clients. And then transitioning back. What do you think is the biggest difference between working with like Helms Briscoe and then working in hotels? What would be your big takeaway there?
Well, when you work for Helms Briscoe, it's like running your own business. And so you're in charge of making your money. It's all commission based. So there's a lot on you, and there's pros and cons to that. I think I got to a point after 4 years. I'm now a single mom and just wanting a consistent job with room to grow in the ways I wanted to grow and to learn some new things. And so that was my main reason, was just to kind of use the experience I took from Helms Briscoe, which I knew was so valuable, and see how that made me a better salesperson back in the hotel, being in hotels. And I had been working from home for 4 years, so I wasn't going to go back to on property. It just wasn't what I was looking for. And when the Caesars opportunity came up, and it's also work from home, but it had some of those other things I was looking for as well.
Well, how did this opportunity present itself then? Because you were at Helms Briscoe and now you're at Caesars. So how did that happen?
Well, I was looking, but nothing was really popping up. I had interviewed a few times, and Alex, who I mentioned earlier, who I work with now, he was like, "You need to come work for Caesars. It's the greatest job ever." And I was like, "Really? I don't know. I didn't know much about Caesars, and all I thought about was like Las Vegas, these huge hotels, and of course I had been there and I'd spent time there, but it just wasn't on my radar. But I was like, okay, yeah, maybe I'll see. And at the time, when he first mentioned it, there wasn't a job available. And I was working with the regional manager at the time, Yelena, who's now one of my associate director of sales. Mm-hmm. And she also just said it was great and, just had high praise for the job. So when she was moving to a different role, I applied for the job, and luckily they hired me. So
if there's one thing I can say for fact is that Alex can sell anything. So I mean,
you never know. And you know what? I'm so thankful, and I tell him all the time it was such a great move. Like I am so thankful that I got this job. So
I hear that all the time from people who work at Caesars. I mean that everyone that works at Caesars loves working for Caesars. So, I mean, I hope that my boss isn't listening, but if I'm ever looking in the future, I know where I'm looking. So that's
it's
incredible.
A great company. Yeah, it's surpassed my expectations, I would say, in so many ways. So yeah, great job. It's hard work, but it's a good job.
When did you start when did you start at Caesars?
2018.
If you have your resume ready, okay.
We're be in my third year. Yeah. It's hard. After 2020, the way it's been, I don't even know dates anymore.
I know. And I mean, you want to talk resilience. I mean, you started in hotels right before a recession, and then you started back in hotels right before a pandemic. So, yes. I mean, I think you need to add that to your resume.
I should.
That is pretty impressive. But so you've done the switch, right? And I've mentioned that a lot of people are looking to switch back and forth or out of hospitality or whatever. What do you think are some of the transferable skills? Like hospitality gave so many skills, you know?
Yeah. I think hospitality, I mean, one of the biggest skills, you just learn to work with all different personality types and be professional and deal with conflicts in a positive way. I think hospitality people are some of the nicest people because we have to learn to be nice. I mean, if you're not nice, it's hard to make it in this job, but they're nice people and straightforward as well. And so I think that can go into any industry. I was talking to someone recently about that who's doing that transition. And it's like, I think they underestimate the skills hospitality professionals have. On top of that, negotiating contracts, rates, and wine and dining our clients. There's a lot of things, problem solving, knowing the world and other, you work with people from other countries and all different things. So I think there are a lot of transferable skills. And I think I know there's so many people out looking for work right now. And I would highly recommend hiring people out of the hospitality industry, even if it's something unrelated. I think we can also learn on the fly. I
was just going to touch on that too. You mentioned, I was thrown in the fire. I think everyone in hospitality is thrown in the fire.
Yes, exactly. Yes,
the ability to adapt to anything.
Right. Yep. Exactly. That's why I think there was the meme or joke going around during the pandemic that if they had just passed off handling it to hospitality people, we would have had it done.
Done.
Yes.
Without pounding the room. Done.
Yeah, exactly.
There are so many amazing things that you get to experience in hotels in general, working in the hotel or outside of the hotel. So I agree. The skills that you gain in hospitality is unlike any other industry in the world. But I want to know what's going on at Caesars. Are you willing to share some of that with me? How are you guys doing?
Well, it's been a tough year like it is for everybody, but I think we're a resilient team and a resilient company. And I think Las Vegas has so much to offer in terms of space, in terms of things to do, and the ability to social distance. I mean, we have some of the biggest meeting space, right? So we are now currently at 50% capacity or up to 250 people in a meeting room. So, or as part of a group, excuse me. So that's just gone up as of March 15th. And then as of May 1st, what we're being told is it's under the jurisdiction of local authorities. So
okay.
I can't tell you exactly what that's going to mean and what's going to happen, but if we've learned anything in the last year, it's that we don't know what we don't know. So, but it's moving forward, which is really positive. And I have groups this summer, and my counterparts have groups, and I think we're going to see Vegas come back quicker than some other places, just because of that ability, to spread out people in space and use outdoor space and different things. So we're excited. As for speaking for all of us in hospitality, we're dying to book groups again, right? And we're dying to meet. I want to see people again. And so we'll find ways to do it safely and work. Like I said, we're flexible. So if anybody has business and needs a place to go, you can reach out and we can help make it work. So I think Vegas has a lot of ability to do that. Can't wait to have everybody. We can't wait to be booking meetings again.
I know. I'm so happy to hear that though, even at 50% occupancy, that's incredible. So what are you guys doing differently in Vegas right now with some of these groups? I mean, are you promoting anything different? normal?
As it different than we normally do?
Yeah, or what types of groups are you seeing coming in? Is it, I mean, smaller groups, obviously. Is there like a trend there?
It's smaller, some more Smurf type groups. So you might get people that are doing reunions and things. Some of the really large corporate events that we've had in the past might be still doing virtual for a while.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm definitely finding people want to be back. I have some clients that do trainings in different areas like taxes and things that they need to get together and meet in person, and they could be spread apart. We can keep them 6 feet apart. Like I said, we have a lot of space to work with. And so, just stuff like that. But it's going to be interesting to see in the next few months who starts putting inquiries out and again, because I think that's part of the thing that's hard right now is people have put stuff on hold, and I think it's going to all kind of want to come back at once. And one thing we're seeing is that space is really filling up for 2022 and 2023. So
that makes sense.
Those are to me now. No, because they're rebooking things they have to cancel, and so they're putting them in future years. So we are going to run into being quite busy and having to turn groups away in the future. And so the sooner you can start thinking about groups again, I would encourage people to do that.
Yeah. So I'm not surprised to hear that there's a lot of Smurf business right now, being smaller groups, and a lot of people are probably still driving and all of that. What is there to do in Vegas right now? Is everything back open? Like, other than being, in the meeting space or, doing whatever you're doing, what is there to do?
I just saw an article yesterday that talked about all the shows that are opening up. So they're, it's step by step, opening slowly. I don't have the list in front of me of which shows.
That's okay. But shows are back.
Yeah, shows are coming back, which is very exciting. Restaurants have been open through this, not all, some, and every day more are opening up. Pools, like we have our pools open. I just was talking to a client today about booking their pool parties. And you have the outdoor, you have Red Rock Canyon, people go to the Grand Canyon. So Vegas, there's, everybody knows there's a ton to do in Vegas, and they just are slowly getting things back open and working. And I think as it's happening, people are going to be really excited to be there and to be out and be around people and, eat and drink and see a show.
I never considered booking pool parties. I don't know. I come from small hotels. We don't do that. So, spring break. Are you booking a lot of pool parties right now?
Oh, no.
Is it cold? Do I not know geography? Is it colder?
No, it's not that. It's that. So when I say pool parties, I had one that for a client that was talking about it. It's actually can be hard to book pool parties because the pools are so popular.
Oh, okay.
And with the guest at the hotel. So we could do, at Caesars and different locations, we could do like an evening event at the pool or different things, or you can reserve cabanas and things like that. Over times like spring break, when we get a lot of people in, as a group, we don't usually book pool parties because they're, you have the average guests using the pool, and we wouldn't want to shut it down and turn them away, right?
That completely makes sense. Well, that's kind of what I was wondering. I was like, I've never thought of booking pool parties because, that's for some people, that's the entire reason they go to Vegas. Is
yeah. And when I say that, it's like a small group meeting for a few drinks, and then they go off on their own and have a cabana.
It's a breakout.
Yes, a breakout. It's not like a huge meeting. Yeah.
Okay, it totally makes sense. All right, well, that's amazing. So if anyone is interested in booking events, then they just contact you. What's the best way to get a hold of you?
By email would be great. And you want me to just give my email address?
Yes, please.
It's LESS as in Sam, EX -White, WHITE at Caesars.com. Sorry.
And for anyone who's not watching this and seeing it at the bottom of the screen, we'll make sure to add it in the notes section of this podcast episode so that you can contact Lydia and inquire about booking a group or an event. So that would be amazing. And, again, things are booking up quickly for the next couple years. Short-term business is great, but even for those that are looking for long-term, it's probably better to get on it now.
Absolutely.
For sure. Are you guys doing anything different with contracts? I know there's some hesitation out there about booking far out, not knowing what's going on, and everyone's kind of a little trigger shy, if you will.
I would say whether it's me or another sales manager, just ask us, ask us what we can do, and we will be as flexible as we can. We understand that there's going to be some changes and people are going to be asking for some different things, but just ask. I'll do whatever I can to get you in and make sure your contract is comfortable for you and, makes sense for us. So.
Yeah, the salespeople don't bite, guys. Like, honestly, we don't. So, I mean, if you have questions, don't wait. Just ask them. So definitely reach out to Lydia or anyone with the Caesars Entertainment team to see about it. I can't wait to get back to Vegas, like myself. Like, I'm not like a big gambler or anything, but there's always amazing shows and events and food.
It's going to be fun to get back into getting together with people. My goodness, I can't wait.
I can't either, and I can't wait for just events in general. And I mean, you have anything on the horizon right now as far as events, like traveling yourself?
No, not right now. I did take a trip to Hawaii last month, which was awesome. But
that sounds awesome. And it wasn't crowded, was it?
No, it was nice. Yeah, it was great.
That's amazing. That's amazing. Yeah. I don't have anything on the docket until I don't know, September. It's painful. It's definitely painful. So I think that everyone, I say this all the time, I think everyone has a bit of cabin fever. And I think that I'm projecting because I have cabin fever and I'm going crazy. So I have no doubt in my mind that you're not going to have a problem booking business. So that's awesome.
Yeah.
So do you have any other words of advice for anyone who may be transitioning between hospitality and another industry?
I would say just don't be scared to try something new, right? And and don't be afraid to like spout out your skills because you have them, right? And I think we can think like, oh, I don't have anything to offer, but you do. So that's what I would say is just sell yourself.
Yeah, exactly. Even if you're not in sales, trust me, you know how to do it. The front desk knows how to do it too. Jans, you know how to do it.
Yeah.
Everyone sells in the hotel space. That's just what happens. So I'm going to put your email address up here one more time. If you have any questions for Lydia or if you are interested in more information on booking a group or an event, be sure to email her. For those just listening, I'll make sure that it is in the podcast show notes. So other than that, thank you for being a guest on the show.
Thanks for having me.
And for everyone else, I'll see you again next time. Thank you.